Imagine walking into a forest and instead of the peaceful sound of wind, you hear a billion voices. Every bird, every squirrel, and every insect is screaming, laughing, or complaining in a language you finally understand. The barrier between human and beast has shattered. We can finally talk to all animals. But is this the ultimate connection we've always dreamed of, or a psychological nightmare? Would we stop eating meat if the cow could beg for its life? How would the global economy collapse when animals demand wages for their labor? And what dark secrets do our pets know about us that they are finally ready to tell? The day of awakening would be chaos. Every household on Earth would suddenly be filled with the opinions of cats, dogs, and goldfishes. The silence of nature is gone forever. The first thing we would learn: animals don't think like us. Their language is a mix of raw emotion, survival instincts, and sensory data. A dog doesn't say "I love you." It says, "Save friend food now." The legal system would face a total meltdown. If animals can talk, do they have human rights? Lawyers would scramble to represent defendants with tails and claws. A Supreme Court of Life would be established. The first case: the right of livestock to refuse the slaughterhouse. The meat industry would vanish overnight. Global food chains would be forced into a synthetic revolution. Lab-grown meat and vertical farming become the only way to survive without becoming mass murderers in the eyes of our neighbors. Pet ownership would transform into domestic partnership. Your dog isn't your pet anymore. He's a roommate who has very specific opinions about the quality of his kibble. Cats would be the most difficult. We'd realize their silence wasn't mystery. It was judgment. Why do you stare at the glowing rectangle all day? Human. The labor market would shift. Animals could be hired for jobs where their senses excel. Dogs as professionals sent detectors in hospitals, paid in high-quality steak and healthcare. Elephants and great apes would become the world's most respected historians and philosophers, sharing memories of the wild past down through generations. The pest control industry becomes pest diplomacy. Instead of poison, we hire interpreters to negotiate with rat colonies. Leave this basement, and we will provide a compost pile outside. National security would change. Spy birds and reconnaissance squirrels become the ultimate intelligence assets. No secret is safe when the pigeons are listening. Wildlife conservation becomes a political negotiation. The Amazon rainforest wouldn't just be protected. It would be a sovereign territory represented by the jaguars and macaws. Zoos would become political prisons. The images of crying primates demanding their freedom would spark global riots, leading to the immediate release of all captive animals. But the truth would be painful. We would hear the collective trauma of the natural world. The oceans would be a choir of whales, singing about the plastic in their stomachs. Urban life would become a sensory overload. Imagine the shouting of pigeons in Times Square, all fighting over the same bagel. The noise would be deafening. Psychology would expand to interspecies therapy, helping humans and animals resolve thousands of years of predatory tension and misunderstanding. Architecture would change. Buildings would be designed with animal corridors and speech interface terminals so our animal citizens can navigate the city. The species gap in wealth. Would we give cows land? Would a horse have a bank account? The economy would have to account for billions of new consumers. Ultra-realistic AI shows us the first interspecies parliament, a human moderator sitting between a silverback gorilla and a Bengal tiger, discussing territorial boundaries. We see the texture of animal translation collars, devices that turn biorhythms and vocalizations into clear, synthesized speech. The insect problem? If ants can talk, we realize there are quadrillions of soldiers right under our feet. A silent, tiny superpower that could crush us if we don't listen. Religions would go through a crisis. Do animals have souls? Do they go to heaven? Theologians would have to rewrite the place of humanity in the universe. Dating and social life. Don't listen to him. He's lying, says the household cat to the new boyfriend. Privacy would be a thing of the past. Medicine would advance. Animals could describe their symptoms exactly. My third stomach feels sharp after eating those blue flowers. AI captures the faces of children talking to butterflies. A generation born into a world where everything that lives has a voice. The predator-prey conflict. Could we convince a lion to be a vegetarian? Or is the cycle of life a conversation we aren't invited to? We'd learn that some animals find us incredibly boring. All you do is sleep and move papers, says the hamster. The oceanic truth. Whales telling us about the deep-sea civilizations or strange creatures we've never seen. The sea becomes a library of ancient stories. The language of bees. Learning the complex mathematical and geometric secrets they use to build their hives and find flowers. Traffic accidents involving animals become involuntary manslaughter. The moral weight of a hit and run changes when the victim can name their family. Fashion would be revolutionized. Wearing leather or fur would be seen as wearing a trophy of a murdered citizen. Synthetics become the only moral choice. AI shows us a Animal News Network. A parrot reporting on the weather and the migration patterns for the week. The secret language of plants. If we can talk to animals, are trees next? The fear of the living world begins to set in. Animal witness testimony. Solving crimes because the family dog saw who entered the house. No murder goes unsolved. The ego death of humanity. We realize we aren't the center of the universe, just one voice in a very loud, very crowded room. We'd learn the true cost of our progress. The birds telling us how the smog feels in their lungs. The Interspecies Internet, a web designed for different sensory inputs. Smell-based social media for dogs. Sports, a new era of human-animal partnerships. Not racing horses, but racing with horses as equal athletes. Animal philosophers. Learning the wisdom of the tortoise. What it's like to live for 200 years and see the world move and fast forward. The crow intelligence. We'd realize crows have been mocking us for centuries, and they have a very dark sense of humor. AI captures a city park where humans and squirrels are negotiating the Nut Distribution Act of 2026. The sound of a forest would become a symphony of stories. No more bird song, just bird news. Privacy in the bedroom. Not with a pet around, are you guys done yet? I'm hungry, says the dog at the worst possible moment. The grief of extinction. Hearing the last member of a species talk about being alone. A tragedy that would break the human heart. We'd find out that some animals are surprisingly racist toward other species. The great interspecies prejudice would be a new social challenge. History books would be rewritten with the animal perspective. What the horses saw during the Great Wars. The biological union, a world where every decision from building a dam to launching a rocket requires a bioimpact vote from the local species. We see the AI rendering of a mixed species school. Children and wolf cubs learning the basics of Earth talk. The end of war between humans, because we are too busy trying to keep the peace with the rest of the planet. We'd realize that talking doesn't always mean agreeing. A polar bear might be very eloquent about why he wants to eat you. The golden rule would be expanded. Do unto all sentient beings as you would have them do unto you. A new branch of science. Ethnozoology. Studying the different cultures of different packs, hives, and pods. The silence of the insects. Would we feel guilty for every fly we swatted? The weight of might. AI captures the global summit, a blue whale's voice being projected through speakers to a stadium of world leaders. We'd find a new kind of loneliness, the fear that animals might decide they don't like us very much. The world would be louder, messier, and infinitely more complicated, but it would never be lonely again. The truth is that animals have always been talking. We just finally learned how to listen. It's a world where a human is just another dialect. We see a sunset where a man and a lion sit together, not as predator and prey, but as two beings sharing a moment of quiet. The end of the age of superiority. The beginning of the age of kinship. This was the world where everyone had a voice. The Earth after the Great Awakening. If you could ask your pet one question, what would it be? Like and subscribe. We explore the boundaries of life and mind every week. Listen to the world.